What's up, YouTube? We got a yo-yo review to do today. This is the Recess Little League. So, Recess Yo-Yo is set to release quite a few yo-yos this year, actually, according to my friend Tyler Severance. And I've seen some and got to touch some prototypes and very, very good stuff. The first current, this one, is the Little League. This is the first one of his sort of big run of stuff that he's doing this year. The pre-release is already out. You can buy it on recessinternational.com shop. You can get it on there, but full release is coming soon. This is sort of the pre-release version. Not that there's going to be much change, but we'll talk about it. Anyway, so let's take a look at this bad boy. Much like the Snack, it is, for today, kind of an undersized yo-yo. Not really undersized, it's probably about medium-sized. It's a little bigger than the Snack, a little wider than the Snack. It's based on the design of the Joyride, as you can see. It's got some Joyride-y qualities, including that little nipple thing, finger spin thing in there. Very cool. Like the Joyride, it doesn't really and also like the Snack, it doesn't sacrifice play for its smaller size. It's a nice width, so it's pretty easy to catch on the string still, and it's still pretty stable and long spinning considering the size. Just to kind of compare it to, it's a smaller diameter, but it's the same width as the One Drop 54. This would have been a full-size yo-yo when it came out. So it's more or less, I would call it medium size now. It's actually just a hair wider than the One Drop 54, while having a slightly smaller diameter. I would say this is, medium sized, not necessarily undersized. Let's get into the specs. The diameter is 50.5 millimeters. The width is 40.74 millimeters, and it weighs in at 65.8 grams. So sort of almost, if it was a full-size diameter of the yo-yo, almost a normal width of as far as wider yo-yos are concerned. So it doesn't play small, but it's, a little undersized, kind of a little cute, nice, fits in your bag, fits in your pocket nice, and just, it's different. It's different from the Joyride. If you liked and you enjoyed the Joyride, which I did, you will like and enjoy this as well, because it's just sort of similar but different. And Tyler really likes organic yo-yos. He's kind of the guy in charge of all this stuff. So whenever he comes up with a new organic shape, he needs to be different than something previous, but at the same time, it's very kind of similarly organic and comfy to play. It's not really focused on competition necessarily, but it's a cool yo-yo to play. And at only 45 bucks, I would say that you get a lot in a little package as well, and for a little price point. The blast is very nice on this one. It looks like they use two separate blasts, at least on the two that are there. So the purple one, this is the pre-release one. This is the purple one. It's in lilac. This is pretty heavily blasted, but it looks like on their online website, the silver ones, whenever they come out, are going to be a little bit less, kind of that shinier blast. Either way, very cool. You kind of get a variety of things. Like this has sort of a heavier blast, but I had one before that had kind of a shinier blast as well. So a variety of things. This lilac purple looks really good. I think it's a really pretty color, and it just fits. It's almost spring. This is a very springy color. This is a good yo-yo to go out and play in the spring, honestly. That's probably enough of me rambling on. Let's go throw it around a little bit. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Alright, we are back with the Recess Little League. You'll notice it's more stable than you think it is. It's very smooth. It plays very nicely, and it's pretty easy to catch on the string. Maneuvers very nicely. Spins pretty decently long as well. Rejects are great. Nothing to catch you up there. I did talk to Tyler. The final release, he's going to kind of adjust the gap a little bit. I've got a rather thin string on here, but a thicker string kind of gives you, it makes it a little tougher to get wraps on the string. But I think with a slight gap adjustment and a little bit of tweaking there, it should be perfect. But that's not to shy you away from the pre-release. Pre-release is great, and the color is great, and the blast is great. I really like the weight. It's a very like standard weight. It doesn't feel like a rock at the end of the string at all. It's a very like nice standard. Like 65.8 grams is like a very nice weight for a mono-metal yo-yo. And this just, it doesn't feel heavy on the string, but it plays with a good bit of like just power and feel to it. It feels nice. Grind finish, superb. And then you have enough spin left to do whatever you want afterwards. There's a little finger spin dimple there. I can't really hit that so well, but if you can get your fingers in there, get some good finger spins. There's really nothing to stop you from finger spinning either. But I don't know if I'd say this is like the greatest finger spin yo-yo of all time. So that might get adjusted too. Who knows? We'll see. Okay at finger spins right now. Thumb grinds, doable, but no real like lip to catch. But I think it just excels mostly in just playing. It plays really nicely. Response is good. Not too heavy on the string. I feel like a lot of small yo-yos end up being too heavy. This one does not. Just overall, a yo-yo I really like. Let's go ahead and take it out, put it on the desk, take it apart. I'll show you guys the insides. And we are back with the Recess Little League. So, alright, let's take this bad boy apart, show you guys the guts. We're also going to talk about what changes we made from this version to the final full release version. This is the pre-release, as I mentioned. And it's very good, but there's a few tweaks, and I've talked to Tyler personally, that he wants to make. So I figured I would just, point them out. So here we go. As you can see, it's very similar to the Joyride, as far as the like kind of curvature and then little step up goes, which is also very similar to the first bass. So Tyler's a big fan of this sort of like step to kind of give it a more enhanced play, like a more modern feel of play, but still that nice comfy round shape in your hand, which is cool. He likes that. I like that. I think a lot of people like that because a lot of people buy those yo-yos, and they're very good. So as you can see, kind of just a nice organic shape. The little step gives it a little bit of extra width. Center track bearing, pretty standard for Recess stuff. Nice, smooth, good spinning, doesn't have a problem. It's those like just regular straight up silicone pads. They work very well in this. Good solid response. So the changes that are going to happen between this version and the next version is he's going to kind of widen the gap a little bit. It's not too tight. It's really not. But to do lots of like rap tricks and stuff, you kind of need to use a thinner string. So it's not that it's bad the way it is. It's very good the way it is. But to incorporate, a lot of people like to use kitty fat or like, zip lines, regular size, regular thickness of string. And to still kind of be able to have that like modern level of play with a thicker string, gap needs to be a little bit wider to be able to do that. So he's gonna do that. Also, I think there's gonna be a little bit more rounding on the inside as well. It's not gonna look as much like round and then flat. It's gonna kind of be a little more symmetrical or something. And he's gonna tweak the finger spin dimple a bit to make it a little easier to hit as well. Tyler was actually here. He was showing me finger spins on this, and he was finger spinning like crazy on it and doing great. I'm not that great at finger spins, at least not as good as Tyler Severance, which I guess is understandable because he's a world champion, and I'm clearly not. So, but yeah, that's going to be tweaked a little bit as well to be a little more finger spin capable, as well as increasing the width of the gap just a little bit, which I think might increase the width of the yo-yo just a hair. But as is, I think you kind of maybe want to get a pre-release version because they're pretty cool. Like I've been playing this a lot. It's a really cool yo-yo, and it's really fun. It's really nice to like bring around with you. I've carried it a good bit. It's just been around, and it's a really fun yo-yo to play, and it's just very different. You know, like I said, same thing with like when the snack came out. It's just sort of a like something you don't have, or it's like sort of that old school feel of yo-yo, but at the same time, you get like a more modern play style out of it. So let's do pros and cons. Pros, nice grind finish on this one. Very fingerspin capable. You can get thumb grinds as well. I didn't get the greatest one, but then like off camera, I've done like a bunch, and yeah, it's very good. If you can get your finger in there for the finger spin, you'll get really good finger spins out of it. I didn't. I failed miserably. But like I said, I watched Tyler Severance do like a bunch, and you'll probably see Tyler post videos of him doing a bunch of finger spins now that he's on his way back to Philly. So, yeah, very finger spin capable, especially if you're good at that kind of thing. Grind finish was good, like I said. It's a lot of power. You get a lot of power with this. You don't necessarily think it's a lot of power, but you get a lot of power, a lot of stability. And it really can handle any modern kind of trick or play style that you can throw at it. I would say, honestly, that I feel like this is a little bit of a better performer even than the Joyride is. So I kind of think that this is sort of like, in my estimation, a little step up in performance from the Joyride. It's very, very nice, very compact. It's great for like little quick chopsticky tricks and things like that, just because of how small the diameter is. And if you're a fan of like older school yo-yos like the Yuxta and the One Drop 54 and stuff like that, or like, you know, any yo-yos that have that like sort of 50, 51, 52 millimeter diameter, this really kind of hits the mark, but sort of is a better performer than most of those old school yo-yos are. It's sort of maybe even like if you really like the 888, for example, one of the older 888s or something, this is maybe even a little smaller than some of those, but at the same time, like, it just kind of gives you a more modern performance, but with still that kind of shape and size in mind. And I think that's really a welcome addition to what's going on in yo-yo right now. And it's cool that Recess is putting out a bunch of yo-yos this year, because I like Recess yo-yos, and when they come out with new ones, I get new ones, so that's always fun. Cons, there's really none that I can speak of. I mean, it's a little small. Like I said, the gap and stuff he's going to tweak, so right as you first get it, you might find it to be a bit grippy, but it's really not bad. Like, it's not that grippy, but like if you're going to stick a fat string on it and start doing wrap tricks and stuff, you're going to get snagged up a little. So that's maybe the only real con, at least with this version of it. But if you use a thin string, you'll be fine right off the bat. It'll break into eventually, like the pads break in a little more, and it ends up being fine. But use the thinner string right off the bat. That's maybe the only con of the sort of pre-release version that I could think of. But the rest of it's great. It's a really fun yo-yo. It looks really good. It plays really good. It feels really. It's just a refreshing yo-yo to play. It's really fun. Just like everything Recess does. It's more of a like to play and have fun with, and so can't argue with that. But that's going to do it for me today, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Cheers to you, and I'll see you next time.